Hello everyone, Praise Good here. And I know this is a weird time of day to expect a video from me, but I just recently got back from going to the Pokémon Symphonic Evolutions concert, and I wanted to make a quick video, hopefully quick video, to give my thoughts upon it, so you guys who are interested in it could debate if yes I should go, no I shouldn't go, which the answer I'm going to tell you right now is yes you should go. Go to the website. Go. Just go. Joking aside. So, I'm going to run through as much as I remember. I've got a few things up on my side here just to help navigate my eyeballs. Also know that it's really late right now, so I shouldn't be up and doing this in the first place, but here we go. So, even pre-show, some of you may have seen on Twitter that I took several pictures. I took several pictures of the venue. Took several pictures with Maryland or Devin, whichever you prefer to call him, while I was there, and just overall, it was a little underwhelming at the start because, you know, instruments weren't even out near the chairs, and it was just kind of like a big meet and greet for Pokemon fans. Not a bad thing, just a little underwhelming when coming for a concert. Then my anticipation slowly started building as I saw one person come out on stage. Here comes a violinist. Oh, here's a flautist. And they're tuning the timpanis, and it just builds. It just built my excitement and anticipation because a lot of the music that we heard there was basically stuff that was transformed from little 8-bit tinny noises to full orchestral sounds that would bring a tear in my eyes, but. So we'll start off from the basics. Basically, they did their overture, or I'm not sure if it's overture number or if that's the exact word for it, but basically their preview, the number or the bit they do at the start of the show to kind of get you hyped up before they start talking more about what they're doing. And gotta tell you right now, instant tears of nostalgia and joy, because as they were playing just basically like an overall medley of everything they were going through tonight. Across the screen that's placed behind the band and the conductor and everything are images of Pokemon Blue, Red, Yellow, Silver, Gold, Crystal. You get the idea. They scroll through all 6th generation main series titles. Up to X and Y because Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire wasn't available when the Symphony officially started back last year. But it's just like, I remember that. Oh, my childhood. I can actually feel tears welling up right now while I'm talking to you. So after it's done, just a quick introduction and of overall hype from the crowd as we all exclaimed our happiness to have this event happening anywhere remotely near us. And for the most part, and for the show, they actually kind of did a procedural generation build-up. Like, they started way back in Generation 1 and worked all the way up to Generation 6. They started off with playing the song of Palatown with basically you're starting your Pokemon adventure from Red and Blue in the background. And it's just like, this is hitting me right here. This is exactly what it was like 17 years ago. And the music just builds throughout this and goes absolutely amazing. It goes nuts all over the place. It was fantastic. And then it moves on from like a very nice, very, middle of the road, not too fast, not too slow song to Double Trouble, which is the Team Rocket song from that same generation. And it started off just really kind of panicky, moved into, and then they basically timed the music perfectly to when you first enter Rocket Space in Celadon City. And and at that moment, the drums just kicked in and the music went to very loud. It's like, oh, there's the boom. The music hit really hard, and it was exhilarating with how hard they were playing and how much they were doing. And after that, they moved onward to a song called Born to Be a Champion, which basically it was an overall trainer battle, gym leader battle, and battle with the champion thing, which slowly built up through all three of those to be the epic final confrontation with Blue or Gary, whichever connotation you want to believe the first generation was placed in. And then they move quickly along to the second generation from there. A lot of the music in this portion actually came out of, well, Ecruteak area in a sense. Like, it was Ecruteak City, and then the next song was The Tale of the Two Towers, which was a semi-somber song that was a little fast at times, but it was a pretty somber song, kind of giving you the feeling of you're being told the stories of why there's only one tower when there used to be two. And then the big one. The big song that came up, which was just ... You know what? You kind of know what this is if you played the second generation games. But it didn't start out right where you're thinking. It did a build-up from Gym Leader to Elite Four in tunes, starting off with the Dragon's Den trials. And just, it kind of built out from there, and then the music comes to a halt. And on the screen, there's a beautiful picture of a cave opening, and at the basically an uphill to a cave opening, and at the top of that is a silhouette of Red and his Pikachu. And then as the music gets very quiet, they start playing that versus Red song. Da, 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 da. Just so many good memories were coming from all of this at this time, and it was fantastic. It was just all fantastic. And as I said, I'm going to keep moving along, give you a brief overview so I don't ruin everything for you if you do decide to go. But I will also tell you that this part of the show, this is just from my lack of experience with certain games. It's not anything, it's the show itself. The music was fantastic, but they moved along to the third generation, which, as I've said many times, I skipped out on the third generation when it first came out, because that was right about the time when everybody was like, oh, Pokemon's stupid. So, yeah, so Ancients of Hoenn, which is a song dedicated to Kyogre and Groudon and their respective areas, and eventually leading up to a portion where Rayquaza was involved. And another song that came up, which I didn't really think much about initially, but it was such a nice, peaceful song, called Falling Ashes. Basically the area, like around, I think it's Fall Arbor, just outside of Fall Arbor, where volcano ashes are falling softly into the grass. And it was a very nice and light and semi-fluffy with a bit of a, I want to say, dark overtone. Not like Violet City back in the first gen, but just very light and fluffy with in some minor notes, or like B minor, A minor, you know, strung in there. Just, it was good. And then it moved on to, after that, it moved on to a brief intermission. Well, no, it didn't move on to intermission. Yeah, I'm forgetting my night already. It moved on to the fourth generation, Dreams and Adventures, The Routes of Sinnoh, which I kind of, like, they were two separate songs, but I kind of pictured them happening at the same time in my head, because Dreams and Adventures is basically when you're starting your journey into the Sinnoh, and then The Routes of Sinnoh was actually a song that plays through a lot of the game. Like, the very first route of the game, and a couple other routes that were sprinkled along here and there. And because the routes did sound so familiar, but with one or two instrument changes, they were able to transition from the first route to the fifth route song to the ninth route. You know, just seamless transitions. At this point, they brought out some of the big guns, which I remembered a lot of these. I remembered this song because of the legendaries associated with it. But the Lake Guardians, basically geared towards Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit. It just, for those three little Pokemon, it actually was a really big, pounding, hard-hitting song that just kind of gave you the feeling of, these are the Pokemon that hold the world in order. They have a big significance. And then shortly after that, it came to an intermission. Basically a moment for you to get up, take care of your basic needs, get a drink if you need it, buy some stuff at the merchandise store, whatever. After that, we came back, and just so nobody missed anything, you know, because some people are a little late when they do stuff, they just played a nice little short remix of the Pokemon Center, which actually sounded kind of like a Caribbean mix a little bit at certain portions. But it was just a nice little, hey, we're about to start playing again. Here's a nice song for you guys who are here on time and whatnot. And then right from there they went to Generation 5, and they hit with the big guns. The song, "The Day I Became King." Oh, it wasn't very loud, it wasn't very fast, but it was powerful. Just a lot of powerful music right in there. Just to kind of musically tell you the story of N's awkward rise to power. And then it slowly transitioned back into Route 10 music from Black and White, which I don't remember hearing it too well. Then again, I've only played the original Black and White through once, so my music knowledge there is a little rough, but it was just a powerful song that moved in kind of like a here starts your journey kind of thing. And then it moved along to N counter, like the letter N dash counter. Puns are fun. But this song that they made was basically a giant mixture of N's castle when it first rises from the ground when you get to the Pokemon League. Sorry for spoilers. To when you finally confront N and his dragon of choice in that game. It just builds up, and it got more intense as time went on. Yeah, I can't put it into words how, like, taken aback I was. Like, I'm watching it, it's just like, this sounds like the world's blowing up. And then it moved along from all these powerful, hard-hitting songs right after the intermission to a very sad song. I don't think I like said it out loud on recording at any point, but like 5th Gen was one of the very few games in my lifetime that has made me cry. That has like legitimately made me shed tears. It's a beautiful reorchestration of N's farewell from the end of Black and White, with a lot of piano, a lot of really light music besides the piano, just very touch and go. And meanwhile, all's going on, and the dialogue for N at the end of Black and White is playing in the background, and I'm just sitting there watching, going, God damn it, Ed, I love you, give me a hug. But things did not let up from there. Though more powerful, it was still very somber at times throughout the song as well. The song An Eternal Prison, basically starting up the 6th generation with the story of a king from 3,000 years ago who revived his fallen Pokemon in battle, but his rage never subsided, and he used the way he revived his favorite Pokemon to destroy nations, until the Pokemon he ultimately risked everything to save left him. It's just it was an emotion roller coaster, from hard hitting to somber to just back and forth throughout the whole song, and it did a great job just putting a lot of emphasis on every part of that story arc that exists in X and Y. But after all these sappy, sad songs, we're reintroduced to a couple tunes that were made light and fluffy and just pulled you right out of that dark abyss of sorts. Welcome to Kalos and Professor Sycamore. Two songs that are so upbeat and a little goofy for the latter that it just put a smile on your face. I mean, tell me, when you think of Professor Sycamore, you think a happy guy, right? Don't try and tell me otherwise. I know you're lying to me. And from there, it wrapped up with friends, fights, and finales. More or less an overarching song that went over the fact that you're traveling with 4 friends in the X and Y games to the various trainer and gym leader fights to the final showdown song, to the final showdown with Diantha. Just this huge overarching song that covers all of it. And at that moment, it was so good. Just at that moment, I had to stand up. Give the loudest round of applause I could. But it wasn't over. The person who organized all these came out, Mr. Jaron Moore, and basically pointed at people leaving in the top balcony, saying, "Hey, you don't know how this works, do you? You sit back down. We got some more for you." Leading to the fact that there were encores. Not just encores. Sing-along encores. Everyone in the crowd was encouraged to join in when Gotta Catch 'Em All, the theme song of Pokemon from its very first anime iteration, was put up on stage with this orchestra playing the beautiful rendition of it while everybody in the audience is asked to sing along with it. The only downside is, like, me and Devin were like the only 2 people who even remember parts of the second verse to the song. So as soon as it got past the first verse that everybody knows, it was just kind of like me and him trying to be like, we're 2 people trying to overpower an orchestra and we don't remember the words help. So it was a little awkward there, but the crowd really loved it and everybody got right into it. Now, Kiseki, and I'll spell it out here quick. Kiseki, if you want to go look it up and enjoy this yourself. This was a song that Junichi Masuda picked out himself to have as the secondary encore song for this event. And it was a song that not many people know because it's still from the 6th generation, but it's basically the song, even though the audience sings it, a vocalized version of the end of X and Y. I mean, with words in it that basically encourage us all to... Gotta get a little teary-eyed here. With words that encourage us to basically be thankful for all the people we get to meet. It hit me right here. It really hit me right here that not only by this event of a symphony that so many fans of a simple game got to come together and be in one place, but that I don't know how to say it really. I mean, we're all here together. Why fight over everything? Let it grow, let it live. Just let people be people and embrace what they are. And at the end of this, it has Professor Sycamore's sappy speech that basically gave me like another time in any video game history when I've actually ever cried at something. Just Professor Sycamore's speech of, basically you defeating Team Flare, becoming the champion, and reuniting the King of Yore with his Pokemon that was thought to be forever gone. On behalf of the entire Kalos region, I would like to thank you from the deepest reaches of my heart. Thank you, everyone. And that's where the show ends. not even the conductor. Like, outside of bowing, not the conductor didn't have any additional words. The organizer didn't have any additional words. Just them thanking the fan base, effectively. I'm telling you all this because I'm telling you all this and not cutting out any of my emotional breakdowns, because this is an event you want to go see. This is something you need to experience. Whether you just became a Pokemon fan yesterday, or you're somebody like me who's been enjoying it since they were 7. Go and see Pokémon Symphonic Origins. Yes, it's an emotional roller coaster, but you owe it to yourself to enjoy this show. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Do what you have to do. Borrow money from people if that's a problem. You need to go. I'm dead serious. It is, without a doubt, the best experience I've ever had in my life. And I'm not sugarcoating it just to make something sound better to somebody out there. It was a big, important, fantastic moment, or several hours of my life that I will cherish. If you do want to know more about where you can find out information about the show and how you can get to said show, it is in the description down below. I will also say it out loud here. Pokemon.Symphonic, I believe, is the name. The link in the description is more correct than I'm saying, because I don't have it open right now. But go there. Find out when there's a showing in your area. You owe it to yourself to go to this. I'm serious. But that's enough rambling from an old man and his nostalgia from probably a lot of people's perspectives. Very special thanks to Devin/Maryland for giving me the opportunity to go out there and see it. Very special thanks to Jaron Moore for organizing it in the first place. And that's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching. And please, have a great day.